Welcome back, YouTubers, to another WWE vlog in HD with me, Daniel Parker, and this guy sitting next to me. It's NJ.
What's up?
After our recent rant on Randy Orton, I'm looking forward to doing this video because it's something positive about the WWE, even though it involves negative things. But before we go on to this video, make sure you guys, yes you guys, subscribe up above, as NJ is showing you, like this video, and put your comments in the comment section below. NJ.
And you can also contact us in the link in the description box below.
Thank you very much, NJ. You've got to contact us. Anyway, the topic we're going to do today is who is going to be SmackDown's next top heel. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because looking at the roster, which we've done a couple of times before this video, NJ, we don't really feel there's a real legitimate main event heel at the moment on SmackDown, and today we're going to discuss who we believe is going to be the main event heel, with the help of you guys, the British Fish fans out there, as we put the question on our Facebook page, which basically read, who do you think will be SmackDown's next top heel? So we have a bit of fan interaction here, which is good.
Well, what I'll quickly do now is list the ones we've got listed, and then we'll go over each one.
Yep.
We've got Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Mark Henry, Orton / Christian heel turn.
Yeah. So those are the options we offered the people on the Facebook channel, facebook.com/the British Fist, by the way, if you want to add us. And it seemed that there was an overwhelming liking of Sheamus as the top main event heel. I mean, to be honest, that's exactly what we were thinking as well, wasn't it? Especially after we lost the title and, you know, to Kofi Kingston, which kind of frees him to do this.
I'm thinking with this frustration, we've seen in the past, I'm thinking he's going to use this now to hopefully become SmackDown's top heel.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we've seen him play this role before on Raw, and we've seen him win the title. So to be honest, he's got the attributes there to be able to be a top heel on SmackDown. Would you say?
He has, and I'm thinking with Sheamus being a past champion, I'm thinking with that and that desire to be the champ again, I'm thinking he could quite easily use that to become a heel.
But let's face it, these guys are going to be up against Mr. Orton. Whoever's going to be heel is going to be up against Mr. Orton, and generally they won't do well. But but in terms of Sheamus, he's been a champion before. He's been freed up now to do this, so he seems like the most likely candidate. Even though he probably hasn't been built up that well. And I mean, if you look at him in the last 6 months, how well or badly has he been built up? Not very well, in my opinion.
After he got out the King of the Ring curse, he has been doing better. So I'm thinking if he does better for a bit more longer, maybe he could become back where he should be.
Yeah. But over the last 6 months, he hasn't really been a main event figure or anything. So you can't really say straight away he's a legitimate target. He's going to need a bit more build up to be able to get to that stage. Would you say? Yeah. And by the way things are looking at SmackDown at the moment, it seems like we're going to get. It doesn't seem like we're going to get a heel yet. It seems like there's going to be an Orton Christian sort of thing going on
for a while.
Yeah. So Sheamus was the top one with 12 votes. What was the second one, Andre, that we got?
This one, I'm thinking he has the opening, just like Sheamus does now, to become a top heel, which is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Basically, with Rey Mysterio out the picture, after all his matches against Bray, he's shown himself as a good wrestler, a good opponent for the top guys on SmackDown. So I'm saying Cody Rhodes could be the next choice.
We had 6 people vote Cody Rhodes on the British Fist Facebook channel, Facebook page. And with him just ending his rivalry with Rey Mysterio, and with him being built as a a good heel, I do feel he is a good heel, and he could probably move into this title picture maybe, but I don't think he's ready yet. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a mid-carder / upper mid-carder at the moment. I don't think he's a main eventer yet, unlike someone like Sheamus, who's already been there and done that before.
Yeah, at the moment, with his gimmick as well, I'm still struggling to see him as if it does ever happen, a World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
He needs to come into another gimmick maybe, or back to an older gimmick.
Hint.
Legacy. Yeah, it came a bit slow there.
Yeah, but he'd be the leader of it this time rather than Orton.
Yeah, that would be true.
Yeah.
And, well, again, so that's what I'm saying. Not a champion yet. No. He's just not the right look about him yet.
But at the moment, with the lack of main event heels on SmackDown, you can see why people would vote Cody Rhodes. Like, he's been showcased as a big heel on SmackDown against one of their top faces, Rey Mysterio.
That's the problem. that's the problem. He's only had one opponent so far, and that has been Ray. So he's not actually shown that he can face other ones yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking once he's faced maybe 2 other wrestlers, maybe then he might look a bit more like a candidate to the champion.
But at least he's been involved in a decent storyline and has been built up rather than someone like Sheamus who's really been sort of up and down. He's been really. But they dropped the ball with him early in the year, and then they made him US champion. At least Cody Rhodes has been in a meaningful feud with a good opponent who put him over at WrestleMania, but did no Extreme Rules, of course.
No, that's true. And that's all I can really say about Cody. I'm saying he's not there yet.
Yeah. So the next person we got was one of our favourites, Mr. Wade Barrett, who got 3 votes on our question. The question I need to ask here is, he is a good heel. You got to take that. The work he did with Nexus against John Cena, really got Cena, some face cheers because he's such a good heel. Now, if he can work this heel, we all know he can work this heel gimmick, right? So why not have him as a main eventer on SmackDown? He did it on Raw, did very well, would you say?
Well, what I'm saying about Wade is, I was close to voting Wade. I will say that, but I voted Sheamus. But the reason I almost voted Wade is because with this core breaking up, he's going to probably have a rivalry with Zeke. I'm thinking they're both going to have times looking strong against each other. Zeke's going to look strong, Wade's going to look strong. So I'm saying if they keep that up during a rivalry between those two, that will make Wade look better again, once again, like he should never have changed. And then maybe after their rivalry, he could then maybe start being put into like Fatal 4-Ways, Triple Threats, number 1 contenders and all that.
I mean, Wade Barrett, he's been involved in this core storyline. We got to say that since he's left Nexus, WWE really dropped the ball with this guy, right? And since he's been in core, which is a faction to put over not Wade Barrett but Ezekiel Jackson and someone like Justin Gabriel, they kind of deprived him of this main event which he had before, which he was doing very well with, and instead given it to people like Orton and Cena, who we don't want to see there. I think Wade Barrett could do a very good job as a main event heel. That's just my opinion. Because of the work he did with Nexus, he's shown he can be a great heel, especially to someone like Orton, who he does have history with.
Yeah, Wade, like I said, we can all see him in main events because he's done greatly on Raw.
But he's just been dropped. But WWE just dropped the ball with him lately. That's all. That's
what I'm saying.
They need to build him up again, like you said with Zeke.
Yeah, after Zeke, I think then that's his chance to be free to be in number 1 contenders and that.
Yeah, we do want to see him as a singles wrestler too. We're fed up of seeing him in factions. We do want to see him express himself as his own wrestler rather than being a faction, which is going nowhere at the moment.
And I'm thinking that will come within the next 2-3 months. Him be alone.
Please. The next guy we got was a guy who's just been drafted from Raw to SmackDown and has just made a heel turn, Mr. Mark Henry. Now, world's strongest man apparently. I think he got 3 votes on our question, the same as Wade Barrett, which kind of disappoints me a little bit because I don't really think Mark Henry
is nowhere in the same league as Wade Barrett.
He's never been a good main event heel. I mean, he's a decent heel. He's a big guy. He puts over the baby faces, which how he should do. But he's not a main event heel. He doesn't have that main event feel about him. If you see someone Mark Henry in the main event, you're going to think to yourself, nah.
Well, I'm going to say some negative and positives about Mark Henry, just like we should do about other wrestlers. With Mark Henry, the negatives, he's not had the right opportunities in the past. In the past, he's not hardly been used in any matches. He's only there to be used as a backup. So I'm saying, no, he's not got it there. But good point, he's got the build, he's got the strength. So I'm saying if he was to eventually, somehow, I don't know how they're going to do it, become in the main event scene somehow, I'm thinking he won't look as someone that could become champ, but he'll look good in the match. Someone's got the strength to take on certain wrestlers.
Well, he did make, if I believe rightly, he did make Rey Mysterio. He did have a good match with Rey Mysterio where he looked like a very, very good heel. I think I can't remember if it was Raw. I think it was SmackDown after the draft.
Yeah,
if I remember rightly.
Yep, I can remember that.
Yes.
If we go back a bit further than that, he has been against The Undertaker.
Oh yes, he has been against The Undertaker.
That was a big wrestler. Mark Henry was a big wrestler. So I'm thinking he has got it somewhere in him to be up there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying he's not one that we'd pick as a main event, but he has got it somewhere in him.
There was news that he was going to have a rivalry with Christian, but that soon went out the bloody door.
Well, that could still happen now.
Oh yeah, well maybe. Let's hope. Well, not hope, but we want Christian to grab the title. But there you go.
Like if we pair up him and someone else that we've named, he could go up against a Cody Rhodes, a Sheamus. So maybe if you pair them up, if you pair like Sheamus and Mark Henry up in a match, you've got two people there that's on our list.
You mean in a singles match or a tag team?
In a single match.
Two heels in a singles?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just using an example. If you had like a Mark Henry and someone else that we've already named in a match, it's showing their in-ring compatibility and that they could both be strong.
But at the same time, one of them would have to be buried. That's the problem.
And we don't really want to bury Sheamus again.
No.
We don't really want to bury Cody. So it would have to be Mark Henry and a face that could be up there. But we're not talking about faces. But yeah.
The other option we have is an Orton Christian heel turn, which could possibly happen. We've seen Christian and Orton as heels before. This got 3 votes. It seems like some people, obviously, we're one of the people that would rather see Orton heel than face at the moment.
Yes.
Do you think if Orton or Christian turned heel, it would be main event heel? I mean, before Orton, it would have to be. What about Christian?
If Christian turned heel, I think after Smackdown, if he turned heel, he still won't be up there again. He'll be a heel against the mid-carders. Yeah,
and of course, if you turn Orton heel, don't have a main event face on SmackDown, so it's probably not the best idea turning him heel at the moment, even though he probably would be better as a heel.
Yeah,
if he's a heel, who does he go against that's a main event babyface?
Well, we've got that. Okay, that's probably another video. We can talk about faces. Because at the minute, we can't really see because we're doing heels.
Well, we know the faces on SmackDown are going to be Christian and Orton.
Well, then we have like the core breaking up, so there's going to be some face and heels.
But I mean, at the moment, we know it's going to be Orton, who's a main babyface, and Christian, who's a potential second babyface.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to turn some heels face if they're really going to make them legitimate. Because then, let's face it, they're not going to use Daniel Bryan in the main event, are they?
No.
Or Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, no. Yeah, yes, that stupid match with Cena, but nothing, no.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it seems like Sheamus is really going to take this role, even though we haven't had signs of it yet. But it seems like Sheamus is the best candidate, would you say, to be a main event heel, even though he hasn't been built to be one properly yet?
Again, I'm looking between the top 2, Cody and Sheamus.
Which is more likely, do you think? So I'm thinking Sheamus.
I'm saying Sheamus, but then again, I was looking at this just before we made this video, and just saw Cody now. He's free basically. Ray's not on the same show, so we've got to think what's going to Cody next. Is he going to probably start getting these pushes?
Yeah.
Because he's on his own. He's not got Ray on his back now.
And like I said earlier, he's probably been the best pushed heel on SmackDown at the moment. Because let's face it, Barrett, Sheamus, Mark Henry, not exactly had the best pushes in the last 6 months. Whereas Cody Rhodes has had a continuing push with a good opponent. So if anyone, it seems like Cody Rhodes is the bigger heel on SmackDown. Even though I still feel Sheamus will probably end up taking his role just because he's done it in the past.
You think Sheamus will beat Cody in this race towards
personally
number 1 contenders in that?
Despite the fact they haven't built him up as well, I think just because of the fact that he's been a champion before, he's been a main event heel before, would just do it for me, if I'm honest.
Well, the way I'm looking at it, I've got this image in my head. They've got
I have voices in my head.
They've got
they come to me, they understand.
It's hard to think. They've got this. I'm not sure how to put it because obviously I'm just struggling to think Cody or Sheamus because Sheamus is pretty much down here still.
Yeah.
And Cody is starting to climb up higher. So unless they quickly push Sheamus, which I don't think they should do it quickly.
Well, he is freed from the US title now, so I'm guessing they could easily do that. And the British Fist universe seem to think that he will be the main event heel.
But we've also got Cody, who's free from Ray, so it's kind of got
similar,
me thinking.
But I still think Sheamus more. That's just my opinion.
Well, we'll have to see. The only way my opinion will change between this to help me clearer is next SmackDown. Now they're both free. We're going to see probably something happen between those two.
Okay. So do you have anything else you want to add before we end this video?
Unless there's other heels that the YouTubers can think of.
Well, we did have Ted DiBiase being mentioned, but I think he's being portrayed as a face now rather than a heel from what I saw on NXT. Facing Daivari, who might be returning. Yeah. I didn't want to have to end on that note, but I'm sorry I had to. But anyway, head up. Should we end this video there then? Do you have anything else to say? Alright then. Fair enough. So, What do you guys think about this? You know, who do you think will be SmackDown's main heel and why? Main event heel and why? Make sure you leave your comments down below. Alternatively, video responses too. We always approve video responses. Thank you very much for voting on the question on the British Fist Universe Facebook page. Thank you very much for watching once again, and goodbye.